Well, it says we're live. If you guys can hear us and see us okay, give us a thumbs up.
Uh-oh. Raindrop.
Probably sweat.
There's a thumbs up.
Hey, all right, good. You guys can see and hear us okay? All right. Hey, everybody. Ken M, SoCal Forest Ninjas, how are you guys doing? Diane and Tim, both. All right, good deal. We'll let a few more people filter in here and we'll kind of fill you guys in on what we got going. Hey, Keith, Cheryl, and Bill King. Hey, how are y'all?
Where's that?
Huh?
Where's that one?
I don't see nothing. Guys, we're kind of iffy here on the weather here. Y'all may be hearing some thunder in the background. Um, they didn't predict any rain, but you know how the weatherman is. Most times they miss the forecast. But if it starts raining, we'll just move over and try to get under some cover somewhere. Thank you, Diane. You know, I decided when this shelter in place started, I told Sheila, I said, I'm not going to shave. I'm just going to grow a beard while all this is going on. So that was one of the reasons I decided to go ahead and quit shaving. If you're not getting out and about, you're sheltered in place, there's not much reason to get up and shave every morning. So
Where are you at, Ramona, that you say the rain is coming? I'm trying to pull up the radar. Ooh, 90%.
hmm.
Look.
Yeah, we may run into some rain here after a while. Hey, Squatch Lady PA. Guys, we've been down here at the property, I don't know, 3 days now, I guess. And the minute we drove up and got out of the truck, it was very evident that they've been pillaging around the cabin. I had a bunch of lawn chairs stacked up on one of the awnings, and some type of large bird. I'm not sure what it was, but it had built a nest in amongst those lawn chairs. So we didn't disturb it. We just left it alone. And when we drove up, I guess it was Saturday, when we drove up here, those lawn chairs were just tore up and scattered all over everywhere. And it was pretty evident what had happened was my assumption was our friends got in there to that nest, scattered all those lawn chairs, tore them up, got them moved out of the way, and stood there and ate those eggs. There was eggshells all on the ground there. So it was pretty obvious that they had been on property, and we were able to do a little outing, I guess, yesterday. There's a video that I posted. It should be up posted here pretty quick, but we made a round through this part of the property here, and guys, we found footprints everywhere. They were just everywhere we looked, we found footprints. In fact, we casted a couple of footprints, and I'll show you those casts here after a while. But we just found multiple footprints uh, down at the creek area, and some of them were, I don't know, 50 or 60 yards from the cabin here. One of the largest footprints that we have ever seen. Um, I measured it, and it was 18 inches long and 6 inches wide. I think it's probably the biggest footprint that certainly I've ever been associated with or I've ever found. That thing was just huge. And we think that probably it's the same footprint that Sheila found when we were down here the last time we were here, and she got escorted out of the forest. We think it's the same individual. This footprint is absolutely massive, but I'll show you the cast here in just a few minutes. Just a couple of quick things, guys, so y'all will be aware of it. I've got the bells up. I don't know if you guys can see them or not. That's them right there. There they are. I've got the bells up. I've got fishing line tied on that tree. And I've got fishing line strung way down in the forest. And I've got a raw chicken hanging on the end of that line. So,
Also known as curbside pickup.
yeah. So if you guys hear or see those bells start moving tonight, please let us know. Like I said, I've got it stretched way down in the forest there, and then on the end of that fishing line, I've got a raw chicken tied to that fishing line. So hopefully they'll get interested in that and come in pretty closer. We know that they have been on property. Don't really know if they're still here or not, but we know that they've been on property. If those bells go off, I've got my night vision camera here. Um, those bells go off, I'll take my night vision camera, go down there and see if I can capture anything. So,
If those bells go off, this chair will be empty very fast, and I will be running in the other direction.
so you guys keep an eye out and also keep a listen out for those bells to go off, because if they go off, we've got something interested in that raw chicken that's tied to the end of that fishing line down there. That's an old Robert Dotson trick that I learned years ago from Robert. He utilized that in his research several times and had a lot of good success with that. So you guys, as always, keep our six back here.
7, 8, and 9, 10 too.
If you see any movement, yeah, Keith Dunlap said he just saw where that footprint video just posted. So it's posted out there on the channel now, and you guys can take a look at that and take a look at the many footprints that we found. We found one down in the creek area that was almost pristine. It almost looked like it had just stepped in that mud there beside the creek. It was definitely a juvenile. It was a very small footprint. In fact, it was 10 inches long and about 4 inches wide. So it was definitely a juvenile. The large, huge footprint that we found back here, there was also a smaller footprint that was with it. So there were at least two that walked back through here. The huge footprint that we got, and then a smaller 10-inch footprint that looked like they were walking together back here. And then walked on down to the creek area, and we found several footprints down there.
And there's actually one in between that. We got the small one, and then there's one that's about this big, and then this big. I can't even see my other hand. The other one is the scary big that I talked about last time we did this. That, yeah, got me into a lot of trouble.
Squatch Lady PA said we both look like youngsters. I didn't recognize Bill at first with his beard. Yeah, it's still me, just a little more hairy. Guys, as always, if you've got any questions for the Squatch team, put them in all caps so that we can kind of keep up with them. As you guys know, the chat just moves so fast that if your questions aren't in all caps, we'll miss them, and I don't want to miss any questions if we can possibly do that. So put them in all caps, guys. If you've got any questions for us, we'll try our best to get them answered for you. I'll talk a little bit about that footprint video I just posted. I mean, literally just posted it before we went live. Like I said, there were multiple. I didn't even film some of the footprints that we found, but we knew there were at least 3 individuals that was walking around back there. There was a small 10-inch one, and then probably a 13 or 14-inch one, and then this huge 18-inch footprint that was 6 inches wide. I guess I'll go ahead and just show this cast to you guys. Now, I'll preface this, guys, by saying I'm certainly not an expert caster. I do the best I can with what I got. And that's about all I can say about that, is I am certainly not an expert in casting footprints, but I try real hard. Guys, this is the, I don't even know if I can get this on camera. It's so big. But this is the large footprint that we found about less than 100 yards away from the cabin. Can you see that thing?
Got it. Yeah, I'll get that.
This thing is 18 inches long, and it was 8 inches wide, and something very heavy made this. That's the biggest footprint that I've ever seen, and certainly the biggest one that I've been associated with or certainly found. But this thing is massive.
And if y'all haven't seen that video that he just put out, we talked about this. If any of you do remember seeing that video where the eyes were looking, where we captured eyes on a game cam, if you remember how wide those eyes were, I think this has got to be that one, because it is that big. So I think he's been here multiple times.
I know that you notice this this toe here is kind of flayed out to the side. I don't know if that's maybe a generic trait, or maybe it had an injury or something to its foot, but that toe right here, I noticed when we first found the print that toe is kind of flared out to the side. So it could be an injury.
No, I know what it is. He's been quarantined and hadn't been able to get a pedicure.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
That's probably what it is. But to give you a reference, guys, I'll show you this. And again, guys, I'm not an expert caster by any means, but this is the little small one that we found. The little 10-inch one. Hold that right there. I'll give you a reference.
Cynthia, we're in southeast Oklahoma.
I'll give you a reference to the different size here. The 18-inch one and the little 10-inch one that we found that was walking with this one. So I'll just give you an idea of the size of the size difference in the two. Obviously, the one that Sheila has was a juvenile, and obviously this one was a full-grown adult.
And yes, we will put the date on the back of it.
Yep.
We haven't yet because of all the questions it caused last time, but we will date it.
Yeah. I ran out of casting material, guys. I could have cast, I don't know, 5 or 6 different footprints, but I ran out of casting material. That 18-inch one took up a lot of casting material. So
When y'all watch that video, y'all will see Bill pointing this out, and it's actually sitting in water. The footprint was sitting in water. That's why the cast was so difficult to really get. But you can see how deep it was. I can't see it on there. But I mean, it was a good, deep footprint, but it was sitting right next to a spring and it had water in it. So it was almost impossible to get all that water out to get the. What are you looking at?
I heard something back there.
It was almost impossible to get that dry enough to really get a good cast, but at least that kind of shows the size comparison.
Yeah, I think it was probably a juvenile that was with mom or dad one. I think it was probably dad. Now this 18-inch footprint that we found yesterday, that's the first time that we have found one that large here. We found several footprints and I've casted several, but that's the first time we found one that large.
And actually, that was kind of unusual because usually you only see one footprint. We could see many footprints. We could see the path it was taken, but that was just the only one that was castable. The others were just, the forest floor back there is just covered in leaves. So it was hard to, there was nothing else that was castable, but we could actually see this, what, 3 or 4 more footprints that we could see.
Yeah, that I could have casted probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 different footprints down there. But like I said, I ran out of casting material and I wanted to get the big one and then that small juvenile just as a comparison for you guys to show you the 2 different ones. But that's the first time we have found one that large here in 2 years that we've been searching here.
What are they eating? Well, we have quite a little smorgasbord here. We have turkeys, we have hogs, we have deer, we have all sorts of small animals, rabbits, raccoons, armadillos, a lot of crawfish in the creek. So, yeah, they have a smorgasbord here.
You know, the reason I think that they hang around or they pass through that creek area a lot is I think they forage for food there in that creek. You know, frogs, crawfish, uh, you just whatever turtles, whatever they can find around that creek. But it
Lots of turtles.
seems like we always find footprints down around that creek area, and I think it's just simply from the fact that they forage for food down there quite a bit. And of course, like Sheila said, we've got just a ton of deer here on this property. We've got wild hogs, just a multitude of small mammals, rabbits, raccoons,
and lots of berries.
yeah, there's a lot of berries here in the springtime. There's a lot of blackberry and a lot of different kind of forage for them like that. So there's plenty for them to eat here. There's plenty of water for them. So there's just plenty for them to eat here. They won't go without food around here.
Half the foot of the actual picture. Like an 18-inch foot size is 9 feet tall. Yeah, I think that would be about.
I think that would be pretty accurate.
Yeah, thinking about those eyes that we saw, that would be, it was about 9 foot tall.
Yeah, Sheila referenced earlier that video that's on the channel. I think it's titled "Deer" or "Sasquatch Watching Deer." Uh, from the height of those eyes, that eye shine that was watching those deer at the deer feeder, it had to be a minimum of 8 foot tall, and it was even a little taller than that. I'm gonna say it was between 8 and 9 foot tall. Now it may have been, it may have been this individual here, and for whatever reason, they just have not been back or not left any footprints that we could find. But it just stands to reason that eye shine that we got on camera that was watching those deer was probably that same individual. And we also think it was the same individual that Sheila had a run in last time we were down here, down in the creek area. So it very well could be. And it makes sense, Tracy, that if it's an 18-inch footprint, that individual could be up to 9 foot tall.
Oh, bugs.
Yeah, Tracy, there's a lot of blackberries here in the springtime, and we know that obviously I think they feed on those blackberries. There's just a ton of them around here.
We have a lot of thunder rumbling around here. I've had a drop or two hit me.
Yeah, Tim, that eye shine was very wide apart, and I've seen a couple of other eye shine videos that's out there on YouTube that was also very wide apart like that. Uh, we did a live stream last year at some point, and if y'all remember, I had eye shine above my cap that was above me that we captured. One of the subscribers, I don't remember who it was, brought it to our attention and did a screenshot of that eye shine that was behind us, and those eyes also were very wide apart. Be sure and put your questions in all caps, guys, so we can kind of keep up with them. And Diane, I appreciate you and Tim tremendously for the job you guys do in moderating the channel and keeping it where it needs to be. Guys, this is all about Bigfoot. We're not political here. We're not, this is all about Sasquatch. It's all about Bigfoot. So let's keep the conversation in that arena. And Diane and Tim are going to make sure that everybody keeps it where it needs to be.
Yeah, and you were here, as you remember hearing them and seeing them, hearing the stomps. That was the night that I got a little bit too nervous. Didn't like what was going on. They seem to be here most every time we come. I think that they might have somebody that comes through like once a day and just checks on it, because we've heard of activity from other neighbors within a 5 mile radius. So we know that they're moving between communities daily.
Felix said, "Do you think Mr. Dotson's 11-footer is still around?" Felix, I've got no reason to believe that it's not. Now, we have not seen that creature since Robert and Udell saw him down there and filmed it. But, and we've been in that area multiple times, and we have not seen that creature again. But I've got no reason to believe that it's not still around that area down there somewhere.
Yes, Reuben, we have smelled them more than once. And ooh, it sounds like rain coming. It's a smell you do not forget. But yes, we have smelled them. Is that rain coming?
No, I don't think so. Cynthia, where are you at? Uh, we're hearing thunder way off in the distance.
Tim, all we know about the guy that had him watching his children is what we've seen on YouTube also. We watched a couple of his videos, and we really think that from what he's described, that it's probably the same group that's moving through here, but we've never met him. Um, but we just know what we've heard on YouTube.
I have talked to that individual a couple of times, and it has to be the same clan that's terrorizing his place over there. His place is less than 5 miles from our place here.
Ada, Oklahoma. She said.
Yeah.
Keep it over in Ada then.
His place is less than 5 miles from here. There's nothing between here and his place but woods, so it has to be the same clan. He talks about a juvenile that hangs around there a lot, and an alpha male and alpha female, and it just has to be the same clan guys that comes through here occasionally, and we think utilizes this property for hunting purposes. There's so many deer, and there's just so many wild hogs and things that they can hunt here. I think they utilize this property for hunting, and certainly we don't feel like that they stay here all the time, but there's just so many miles and miles of woods here that they could traverse back and forth. And it just stands to reason that the same clan that's bothering him, and that's scratching on the windows and peeking in the windows and staying around the kids' playhouse area, and it has to be the same clan or the same group. We feel like it is anyway, because of the juvenile that we've seen around here, and the multiple others. So it has to be the same group.
Scotchman, yes, I do think they're around tonight. I heard a crystal clear knock just about an hour or so ago, and Bill was out here and had a really low whistle, which is what they usually do. That plus the prints that we found, some of them had to have been within a day, if not less than that. I mean, they were that fresh. Because, like I said, the forest floor is so full of leaves. It doesn't take very long for that to be covered up. And that big one that we got, it was very fresh. So, yeah, I think they're here. Um, don't know how close, but yeah, they're here.
When I was setting up earlier, guys, out here, when I was getting everything set up, I heard a very clear whistle in the woods behind us here. I thought it was Sheila. It was so clear and so obvious it was a whistle. I thought Sheila had come out and walked down in the woods and was whistling at me. And then earlier, uh, Sheila heard a very clear wood knock uh, right here in this same area where they're at. So uh, I feel like that they're probably on property. If she says they're on property, then I believe they are, because 9 times out of 10, she's been right. She just seems to be real sensitive uh, when they're around, when they're watching us. She just seems to be really sensitive to that. So if she feels like uh, that they're around, and I've got to believe that they are.
Just for those who missed it, I'll quickly tell you the story of the big guy again that happened last time we were here. There's a hill right behind our cabin, and I mean the woods are so thick, it's it's crazy hard to get through there. But I was at the front of the cabin, and I heard something at the back. And against Bill's advice and better judgment, he wasn't at the cabin. He was down in the woods. I walked back to there to see what was going on because I could hear somebody walking back there. Well, when I got back there, I could hear it moving into the forest. So I started following it, and I shouldn't have because I didn't have a gun. He wasn't here. I didn't have my phone on me. I didn't plan on going very far, but it was just so intriguing. I just kept following him, and before I knew it, I was almost to the bottom of this hill, and I stopped because I saw a print that large, and I could not believe it. And I was looking at that print and trying to get in my mind a way that I could mark it and come back to it because it was so big. And I heard somebody walking behind me, and I actually thought, well, my mind quickly thought, well, it's Bill. So I turned around, and there was no one there, but it was a loud bipedal footsteps moving around in the trees behind me. So I took off back up the hill as fast as I could. And again, it's so thick, you have to just find a space to jump through. And it followed me all the way up that hill. And I got to the top of that hill, and I mean, I had scratch marks on my arms because I had no defense. I had no gun, no phone, nothing. And so when I got to the top of the hill, I was just really out of breath and shaking. Not that it was aggressive or anything, but it was close. It was so close that I could just hear every footstep. And I got back into the cabin as quick as I could. And I got grounded and got my cell phone took away because I did that, but I didn't intend to. But yeah, I learned my lesson and will not do that again because it was just too close for comfort. And I really think it was this one because the print I saw was, it had to be the same creature because it was that size.
Cynthia, we obviously I don't want to tell exactly where we are, but we're not far from the Ouachita National Forest. Um, I'll just leave it at that. We're not too awfully far from the Ouachita. McAllister would be, I don't know, 70, 80 miles maybe. And that's just a guess on my part. Squatch Man says he wants to be there with us. Benjamin says, why are you in the woods? Well,
Where else are we going to find them?
we're here in the woods, hopefully to get some reaction and get some interaction our friends that we feel like are out here tonight. There's certainly been out the last day or so. We found multiple footprints out here in the edge of the woods. So that's why we're in the woods. Hopefully, we're in the woods for you guys. Hopefully, something will happen and you guys will be right here with us live. Again, I'll show you. Can you move your head? You see those? Where'd they go? Those bells right there? That's a bell that's hanging on a fishing line. And that fishing line is stretched down into the forest a pretty good ways. And then on the end of it, there's a raw chicken that's tied to the end of that fishing line. So if those bells start ringing and bouncing around, we know that there's something down there messing with that. And I've got my night vision camera here. I'll take off down there and see if I can get something on film
I'm
with that.
not so sure I'm going to let you take off down there.
Well, you can stay here. Tom says, doesn't it bother you all sleeping at night knowing something that big may come in on you?
And while you're answering that, let's vote on it. How many think Bill should go down there And how many think he shouldn't? Thumbs up for go down, thumbs down for stay where you're at. Okay, go ahead.
Tom, we certainly stay alert, uh, especially when we go to bed at night. We lock all the doors, deadbolt all the doors, and we've actually had them
Thumbs up.
come around the cabin several times, and scratch on the side of the cabin and hit on the side of the cabin, and certainly throw rocks and hit the cabin, but they've never.
You guys.
That's a lot of thumbs up.
Yeah, there's a few in there that said you should stay and take care of me.
But we're not too overly concerned about it. We've been here for 2 years now. We've owned this property and had interactions with them on the property, and uh, we're not overly concerned about that. We really haven't had them get aggressive enough that they've tried to break into the cabin and anything like that. Now they've scavenged around here and in the garbage cans and different stuff like that. They come around at night, throw rocks at the cabin and beat on the side of the cabin and scratch on the windows and that kind of thing. But we've never had them be aggressive enough to try to come inside and try to harm us. So we stay alert, but we're not too overly concerned about that.
Yeah, Diane, finally. Yeah.
Somebody asked, what type of weapons do you carry? What type of guns do you carry while out squatching? We're always armed. I'm armed right now. I stay armed when we're out here. And it's not necessarily for the Bigfoot. There's a lot of other things out here that can harm us. There's wild hogs. There's all kinds of snakes and different things that can harm us. I've got an AR right here within arm's reach, and it's just simply to make sure that we're protected if we need to be protected. But we're always armed. Sheila carries a weapon. I carry a weapon. Udell always carries a weapon. Our whole team carries some type of a weapon when we're out doing our work. But again, it's not because of the Bigfoot necessarily. It's those other things out there that we're concerned about. I'd a lot rather run into a Bigfoot than I had a wild hog. Those wild hogs are just crazy and they will hurt you bad. So that's kind of the reason that we stay armed all the time. I hope that answers your question. Somebody asked, Squatch Lady PA, I think if they wanted to hurt you, they would have done it by now. Yeah,
without a doubt that big one could have gotten me coming up the hill if you'd have wanted to. There's not a doubt in my mind because I was having to find a hole to get through, and he was tromping through there like there wasn't even, like it was just smooth terrain. So yeah, if he'd wanted to get me, he could have.
If they wanted to harm us, guys, they could have certainly done it by now. We had that live stream several months back when they were throwing, on the live stream, they were throwing rocks at us. They were growling. They were foot stomping. They were clapping hands.
What was that? Oh, it's those geese right there. Those geese go through every night. They're a little bit late tonight.
But we had we had three of them around us. We had one on our left, we had one on our right, and there was one behind us. And they were throwing rocks and growling and stomping their feet, and clapping their hands, and making all kinds of noise. But they just simply didn't want us out here in the woods with the lights and everything that we got here. They just didn't want us here. They could have harmed us very, very easily. But when they started that and started getting a little too close, we shut it down. I knew it was time to go, that they didn't want us here.
Yeah, throwing rocks can be aggressive, but here's the thing on that, Benjamin. If they wanted to hit us with those rocks, they could. I mean, they're that good a shot. Every time they throw a rock, it's just to get our attention. I mean, it's all we've had rocks thrown at us. I can't even tell you how many times. And only one time did I feel like it was aggression when that one almost hit you. And we were in the forest about 2 o'clock in the morning, and it came really close to you. But if they wanted to hit us with those rocks, they could. So I think it's just to get our attention and kind of just to let us know they're here.
Yeah, we've had rocks thrown at us so many times, guys, and rocks laying 10 foot from you, or they hit a tree next to you, which knowing that they could hit us if they wanted to. I think they're just getting our attention, letting us know that they don't want us out there. So if you listen to what they're telling you, then I think you're going to be okay.
Yeah, that was
Mm-mm. Just heard a whistle behind us, guys. Jim, I think they probably do hunt with rocks. I mean, it's a perfect weapon for them to hunt small animals, rabbits or raccoons, armadillos or whatever. I think it's a perfect weapon for them. We filmed that juvenile back here in the wood line behind the cabin that had a stick in his hand. In his left hand, he had a stick in his hand that looked like a spear. And, do they use sharpened sticks? That one sure had one in his hand. But I think rocks is a perfect weapon for them.
Yes, we give them gifts and they give us gifts. I've got apples down there right now. They almost always take the apples. And I don't know how many of our videos you've seen, Ruben, but they've left us like bird feathers, 3 bird feathers. They've left us colored rocks. They left a beautiful intact turtle shell. Um, yeah, we exchange gifts frequently. At one time, they left me just a bunch of flowers laid out on the what we call our gifting log. They just left some flowers, which also tells me that they're not aggressive. I know that you have to keep your guard up and treat them for the creatures that they can be, and never let our guard down. But I think they every once in a while leaving flowers is that's not what werewolves do.
Ruben, we've owned this property here for 2 years now, and hopefully during that time that we've interacted with them here, hopefully they've gained our trust and they know we're not going to harm them. We're not here to harm them. So hopefully we've gained their trust, and I they're not going to try to get aggressive with us or anything. So
If I'm being honest, I really don't want to see the one that made that footprint up
for
close.
those of you that's just joined, let me show you this footprint that we casted yesterday. Thing is 18 inches long and it's about 8 inches wide. It's got some weird looking toes that kind of flare out on one side, stubby looking toes, and then one that kind of flares out here. I don't know if that's an injury or genetic trait, maybe. I don't know. But that one was less than 100 yards from the cabin.
So the votes are in, and the final tally is no. You should not go down there if the bells ring.
I think the final tally was yes.
The vote was no.
The bell
Stay right
rings.
here with your
The
wife.
bell rings. I'm getting my night vision camera and I'm headed down there.
You better take that AR one.
Yes, Indy, it is huge. That's the largest footprint that I've certainly ever found on this property. Normally, what we find is 13, 14-inch footprints. We find a lot of those, and then the smaller ones, the juveniles that are 10 inches long, and like this one here that we found that one yesterday.
Just to give y'all a comparison here, put a cell phone myself beside it. Now hold that big one up. It's hard to. Here's a cell phone. So yeah, pretty big.
Pretty good sized footprint there, guys. That'll go in our collection of casted footprints that we've got.
Now it's getting pretty dark here now. I really don't know what I'd do if those bells started jingling. Well, I kind of do. I'm gone.
I know what I would do. I'm headed down there.
Look, thumbs down from Diane. Thank you, girlfriend. It is so pretty right now. If the rain stays away. Have we heard anything? We haven't heard the bells ring, but I think I heard a whistle a while ago. All right, Brian. What I was to say. Sometimes, and I'll try to remember to tell y'all, there's a big old bull in the pasture next to ours, and sometimes he lets out the weirdest sounding moo or whatever you want to call it. And a lot of times people say that they think they heard something, and sometimes it's that bull. So I'll try to let y'all know if that's him.
What is that right there? Is that red out there? You see it?
I do, but if you lean back, it's on both sides, so it couldn't possibly be eye shine. I don't know what that is. It's something red glowing.
What is that?
I don't know.
Can you lean out here and look?
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. I think what you may be seeing is just the sun setting right there. Let me see.
Something red glowing over there in the wood line. What type of flashlight do you use? Luminance. Brian, that's a I think it's 500,000 candle power. It's a rechargeable. I think I got that at Home Depot. I've got several. I've got another one here somewhere that we use. This one here is small, compact.
It's just the sun setting.
What it is?
Coming through some places where the trees.
It's made by Defiant is the name of it. It's small, compact, it's very lightweight, and it is extremely bright. It lights up the whole woods. It's real easy to throw in the backpack or keep seeing stuff behind Sheila. Something moving back here. Yeah, I don't, Sharon, I don't know Mr. Lang, but certainly condolences to his family on his passing.
How far back do you have that line?
Probably, no, it's way back there. That's way, way back.
You see.
Was Mr. Lang a researcher, or was he involved in the Bigfoot community at all? Oh, okay, Randy. Good friend of Lady in the Woods. Hello, Bigfoot Mama. How are you? You know, now that I mentioned it, that name does kind of ring a bell.
What is it?
Kevin Lang passed away. He's a friend of Dee's.
Yeah.
Me, I, the weapon I carry on me, my personal weapon, whenever we're out in the woods, it's a 9mm Taurus. It's certainly, I don't think, going to fend off uh, a Bigfoot, but maybe it might discourage them a little bit if we were in a situation where I felt like that mine or Sheila's life was in danger. Never been in that situation, and we've had multiple interactions with them at night and during the day, and they've just never got aggressive enough that I felt like we were in danger. But I would think it would have to be a very large rifle, maybe a 30-06 or something of that caliber. Uh, that if you were trying to shoot to kill, probably a 30-06 or something along that caliber. I think it would.
Sure, we got company back here.
Cryptid 559. I think we may have some company. We're hearing some movement back here in the brush. Over this way too. Back over here. Those of you just joined, I keep showing this, but we got people that are popping on. This is a footprint that's yesterday, about less than 100 yards from the cabin. It's 18 inches long and about 8 inches wide. A very, very large individual. To give you a cryptid, to give you a kind of a reference, this is a little 10-inch one that we casted right beside the other one. It looked like that probably the big one and this juvenile was walking together. This one is about 10 inches long and about 4 inches wide. Um, one of the unusual things about this one that kind of brought it to my attention is this toe that kind of flails out to one side. Uh, I don't know if is that a generic trait? Or was there an injury to the foot that caused that toe to flare out to the side like that? I don't really know. I don't know if I want to meet that individual to find out.
Hold up. Be quiet.
Sheila's asking me to be quiet. She's hearing something back here.
Oh yeah. You want to listen?
Yeah, let me listen. Keith, that's a great question. I'll answer that in just a second.
Can you shine that light? It moved that way.
Come here.
Whoa. Did you hear that?
Uh-uh.
I know we're supposed to be having fun, but sometimes it just makes me nervous. Okay. See something in the bush, left screen right, in that close bush behind Linda's chair. Is that me, Sheila? Yeah, that's kind of where I saw and heard it move when Bill flashed the light back there. Thumbs up means you want him to go down there, Diane. Thumbs down means he stays here with me. Yes, they have come up more than once when we're out here. I think they're curious probably about this computer and the light that it puts out. Plus, we've got a spotlight. Y'all could probably see it shining down on us. So I think it's just they're very curious. Yeah, that parabolic. It is amazing what you can pick up on it. And if anybody's interested, they're not that expensive. You can get them on Amazon for like around $25, and they're you can use them for all sorts of things, like eavesdropping on your neighbors if you want to. I was just kidding on that part. All right, all you macho guys that are giving thumbs up, who's going to take care of me when he doesn't come back? It's all about taking care of your woman, right? Do you hear it, Bill?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's hearing it too. It's pretty loud. Uh, bipedal footsteps back there. I just hope it's the little guy and not the big guy. I'm not sure I want to see the big guy. I lost all sense of smell a couple of years ago, so it's not. It may have been the coronavirus. I may have had it back then. Um, so I don't. There could have been a smell as close as it was, but I can't smell anything at all. Um, but as close as it was, if it had a smell, I certainly would have hit it. Oh, okay, Diane. Now we're friends again. I'm glad you explained that. Cryptid, we are hearing some movement back there, and he has the bells put up. If you've been with us before, you know we put these bells up, and he strings them a line down in the woods, and there's a raw chicken hanging on the line tonight. And so we're hearing footsteps out there. Did you hear it?
Yeah, there's something definitely moving around back there. Yeah, there's something definitely moving around out there, guys. It's straight back. Can't tell how far it is, but there's definitely something heavy walking around in the leaves. You can hear footsteps. Uh, take a few steps and stop. Take a few steps and stop. Somebody asked earlier about the growth rate. That's a great question. One of the many questions that we're trying to get answered. If y'all remember back a couple of years ago when Robert Robert Dotson filmed that juvenile he named Shadow, uh, he saw Shadow over a year or so period of time. And the last time before Robert passed away that he saw Shadow, he told me that it had grown about a foot in a year. Now, this thing was a juvenile, a small. When he first filmed that thing, it was about 5 foot tall. And then the last time Robert saw it before he passed away, he said it was about 6 foot. So over a year, that juvenile had grown about a foot. So, but that's a great question. You know, what is their growth rate? How, uh, I'm, again, that's one of the many, many questions that we're trying to get answered in doing this research.
Let me answer somebody's question that's already struggled about the parabolic. I don't know. I mean, this is what it looks like. I don't think there's one great brand over another. I got this off of Amazon, and if it tell, if it's this will tell you how long I had it. It says made in China. We're not getting shipments from China right now. So I've had it. I don't know 4 or 5
We've had
years.
that at least 5 years.
4 or 5 years, and it hasn't quit working. So yeah, I
That
don't.
thing really does a great job, as small as it is. You can pick up movement in the brush 100 yards away. It really does a good job. Yes, it did, Carol. It did come with headphones. It actually has a recording device. You can record up to 30 seconds on it. It has a button you can push if you're hearing something, and you can record up to 30 seconds.
And it has a little, what would that be, a monocular?
There's a monocular in it also that you can,
You can.
I think it's a 4-power monocular that you can look through.
It's pretty powerful. I mean, you can't see great with it, but you know,
Hey, Carl, there's Coral in there. LA Swamp Ape.
we have had experiences with more than once. We'll be in the woods, and if we're getting too close to something, everything that's battery or high, tech kind of stuff just shuts down. And I know other people have had that too. And this, I have heard the static gets so loud that it just about busts my eardrums. But it hasn't been too long ago that we were down in the woods and the battery on Bill's camera just dived and we knew it was charged. And what was the other thing we had that the battery just drained, and our cell phones will drain? I don't know how they do it, but somehow they can just drain the batteries and make techie things go crazy. So I don't know.
Andy, I have not seen any sign of cougars around here, and we have bobcats here, but I've not seen any sign of cougars around here. That doesn't mean they're not here, but we do have bobcat here. Well, Kevin and Lewis is on here with, I forget what your channel is named, guys. Bigfoot Research Evidence Podcast. That's Kevin and Lewis. Go check out their channel, guys. They do podcasts once a week on Sundays. Go check out their channel. They've got some great discussion on there. You guys go check them out. Lady in the Woods is here. Hey, Dee. Yeah, I think, Brian, I think there's a lot more of those things around that people give credit for. I have not seen one here, and I don't know if I want to see one here or not, but
I heard that thunder.
yeah,
with
it's
the
thundering.
yard going.
It's thundering, guys. Y'all keep an eye on them bells now. See them right there hanging in that on that fishing line. That fishing line goes way down in the forest and it's got a raw chicken tied to it. So if those bells start dingling or moving, you guys let me know. I'm headed down there with I got my night vision camera here, and I'll go down there and see if I can get something on film for you guys.
See, what he don't know is I've got a rope tied to his belt, and if he takes off, I'm yanking him back. Ah, what?
I'm not far from there, Donna. Not too awfully far at all.
What's with the beard, Bill?
Who said that?
The
Oh,
salons are closed. You should see my hair. That's why it's in a ponytail.
now, Dee, I told Sheila with this shelter in place deal that's going on, there wasn't any reason to get up and shave every morning, so I just grow a beard. I've worn a beard for years, and I guess about a year ago shaved my beard off, but I grow one occasionally. I get tired of shaving.
Just so you don't get tired of bathing. Dad, gun, these bugs are
Bugs are bad
relentless
out here.
tonight.
.21-inch track, Donna. That's even bigger than the one I got here.
MK Davis has a video about your beard conspiracy, Bill.
Really?
Would you share that with me?
I didn't know nothing about that. Yeah, bugs are bad out here. June bugs, and we got thermocells going, and that seems to be helping much. Yeah, I think so, Carl. I think they do. I think they run in threes here also. We've certainly had evidence of that. Bugs that
Get it off the computer.
they run in threes here. A large one, a medium-sized one, and a juvenile. that we have had evidence for here. Dee, I knew that you were moving. I wasn't sure where, but we knew you were moving.
Whatever that was moving is either, well, I think he found somewhere that he can see us well and he's quiet and sitting there watching because he's not moving. So y'all keep your eye out for eye shine back there because I bet you anything that's because he seemed to be kind of moving right back there and I can't hear anything
Where's
now.
that light at?
Oh, you're gonna make him move again? Last time I heard he was more of that way.
Carl, did you see that footprint that I cast yesterday? Did you see that footprint? Cryptid. We haven't really walked the property enough to see if they're building any additional structures. Now, we found that one a few weeks ago that it looked like it had just been built. I mean, it still had green limbs that were woven in, and it looked like they had built a hunting blind or something to get behind. It was right next to a major game trail, and it still had green limbs where they'd been broken off and weaved in, and kind of made a something to get behind. But we've not really walked into the property far enough to look and see if there's any additional structures that's been built. Now, I did walk by that what appeared to be a hunting blind yesterday, kind of down in that area. It's still there, but it doesn't look like that they've done any additional work to it. But it is still there. Yeah, it's I mean, where the cabin is, Lewis, the wood line is 10 yards behind the cabin.
If I was a betting woman, I would say he's watching us right now. I can feel it.
Carl, we hadn't found any more empty turtle shells. You know, they gifted that one to us about a month ago or so. May have been longer than that. Just a perfect empty turtle shell, and it was pretty good size too. It was probably that big around. It was a very large one that they left down on the gifting log, but I have not seen anything or seen any more.
Good Lord, there's like 957 quadrillion bugs out tonight.
The bugs are really bad.
Here's one less, but and if you guys haven't discovered Thermacell, these things are wonderful for mosquitoes, but they're not doing anything but these big fat June bugs. Ah, sorry.
Tim, nothing new on on the mounds, we've not been back since we found them down there. We had plans to go back on the 24th of April, and we just couldn't get the whole team together to go down there. So that kind of fell through. But we'll be down there in the next few weeks and check on those and do a little bit more research on them. What Tim is referring to, guys, are what looked like two graves that we found in the middle of the national forest down there, and they were about 8 foot long and about 5 foot wide, and they had rocks stacked up on one end of them, and it just appeared to be a grave or graves, just a mound of dirt down there, and they had been there a long time. They already had saplings growing up in them, but we will get back down there. I've got them marked on the GPS, and we'll get back down there and do a little more research on those and see if we can figure out exactly what they are without digging them up. Now, we're not going to dig them up. I don't think we really want to do that and have them get aggressive on us and hurt somebody down there. So we're not going to dig them up, but we'll do some more research on them and see if we can determine exactly what they are. You know, right after we found them, I turned around, started filming behind us, and caught those images behind us that were watching us. So there were at least two watching us back there the whole time we were standing there talking about that. So
Thanks, Diane. I like them too. Show and see them. They're pretty cool. Lady in the Woods. Probably not long. We've been here for several days, and Mother's Day is coming up, and I have done nothing to prepare for it. So probably tomorrow or the next day, we're gonna head back home.
and we've been here, I think we got here Saturday morning. So we've been here about 3 days. And normally when we come, we stay close to a week. But with Mother's Day coming up, we need to get back, and I need to take care of some business around home before, and then we'll be headed back.
Sure, we'd love that. We never really know ahead of time when we're coming. We just kind of, when the schedule's clear, nobody has a doctor's appointment, basically, we come back. As we get older, it seems like we have to schedule more and more around doctor appointments.
Dee, you moved close to Anobia, is that right?
While she's answering that, I have a new toy. I won't bore y'all with it too much, but I've been playing it to them a lot. You can tell I'm very, very skilled at this.
Okay, text me your number.
Huh?
She's gonna text us her number.
The Philharmonica called, but I just wasn't available that weekend, so.
Give her a hand, guys.
Hold the money, hold the claw, throw tips. But I have been playing it a lot, and we'll see if they like it. I'm thinking about playing it a few more times, and then maybe leaving it down there to gift them, and see if they'll play it back. think Bill should bring his guitar. What do y'all think? This man plays a mean guitar.
Everybody's clapping for you.
Oh, you are so sweet.
Yeah, you're right, Dee. They probably would eat it. Carl, I've been watching your videos on Facebook. You playing your guitar. Pretty good.
Yeah, I learned it in grade school too. Kind of forgotten a lot about it, but I just wanted something that makes noise that I might could leave down there and see if they would try to blow on it. We meant to get a bicycle horn, and we forgot. Robert used to do that. Put a bicycle horn down there, and they played with it. He heard them honking it, so we'll do that next time we come. Good Lord, they are dive bombing us.
Next time we come down, I'll bring my acoustic guitar and play for them out here.
Somebody guess what I was playing a while ago.
Lillian Crow says, "Hi, I'm new here. What's this channel about?" This channel is all about Bigfoot. We are out in the woods,
Eating bugs.
doing a live stream, hopefully to have some interaction with Bigfoot. They come around here all the time. We're on our property in southeastern Oklahoma. In fact, we had them moving around behind us earlier back here in the brush.
Let me stand up and play to him. Maybe he'll stand up and clap. Hey, wouldn't that be cool if he stood up and clapped? Let's see.
Yeah, Lillian, this is one of the footprints we cast yesterday right here behind our cabin. It's a massive footprint, but they come around the cabin here pretty regularly.
You tell me to shut up.
Diane Fowler said it kind of sounds like Native American music. That's what it's supposed to sound like.
Yeah, I'll take that, Diane. That's what I was going for.
Rick Wells is on here with Booger Farms.
Oh, now the fun begins. Let the party start.
Yeah, Lynn, that's a pretty good size one. It's 18 inches long, so it's the biggest one we found on property here. We found a lot of 10 to 14 inch ones, but that's the largest one that we found on property here. Lillian says, "Do you have a photo of Bigfoot?" Yeah, Lillian, I got a bunch of them. I've got hard drives full of them. Yeah, I'm going to have to do that, Diane. I've been threatening to do that for a long time now, so I guess I'm going to have to break down and bring my guitar down here and sit out here in the woods and play for them and see if they enjoy that better than the flute.
I don't take that as a compliment at all. I've only been playing for 3 days.
Still hearing something back over here.
I heard it as soon as I clicked on.
Still hearing something move around back here, guys.
Yeah. Okay. Did you just move something off?
Well, these June bugs are going crazy. Guys, if you got any questions for us, be sure and put them in all caps. That's the only way we can keep up with them. DUI bugs. There is a million of them around here. We set these lights up out here in the forest, and every bug within 50 miles, I think, is decided they want to attack these lights. You watching those bells?
I'm hearing movement right now.
Again, for those of you that just joined on, we've got some bells right there that's tied to some fishing line. It's tied to that big tree right there, and then the fishing line goes down into the forest, and then got a raw chicken tied on the end of that fishing line. So if these bells start moving or jingling, then we've got something messing with a chicken down there. And no, Andy, I haven't. I hadn't checked it lately. I put it up right before we came on. Uncle Bones, we have tried that before, plugging the parabolic into the mic jack, and it just doesn't work that good. We've tried that before out here. Northeast Oklahoma, do you think we have any Sasquatch up here? Lynn, I have not done any research in Northeast Oklahoma, but if there's forests up there, if there's woods up there, there's a water source, and there's food for them, you can bet you probably got them up there also. Lillian, there's reports on the BFRO website from Kansas of sightings. I'm not sure about what part of Kansas, but there are reports of sightings in Kansas. Ought to be saving all these June bugs for fish bait, I guess.
Yeah, listen.
Carl, that's another good question. I think they do. I think as the weather gets hotter, I think they do shed. I filmed one down in what we call the playground about almost a year ago. It was in the summertime, and that one didn't have a lot of hair on it. What hair it did have was a short, kind of a short fine. In fact, I used that for the live stream tonight. I had a picture up before the live stream. That was the one that I filmed down there, and you notice that one didn't have a lot of hair on it. So I think probably they do. It just seems to make sense that as the weather gets hot, when it gets 100 degrees down here, it would make sense to me that they shed a lot of that long hair. Can I sub? Certainly, Lillian, you sure can. Just go to the Squatch Team channel and hit that sub button and hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. And every time we post something, you'll get a notification.
You want to listen?
Yeah. Sit down here and talk to them. Answer some of these questions. Let me listen.
You hear it right there. Not the light too. And there's some movement back there, very subtle. Oh, good Lord, it could be these bugs walking back there. They're so big. You saw something move, Lillian? I haven't seen anything move. I can hear the footsteps on the parabolic, but I haven't seen any movement. If I sit here with my mouth open, I promise you, in less than 5 minutes, my mouth will be full of bugs. Would y'all like for me to do that while we're waiting for Bill to return? Yes. Oh, they're so big. These big June bugs. I swear, I think they could bust my glasses if they hit it just right. Lillian, if you see something moving, can you give us a direction? We'll sure check it out. Good night, cryptid. Good Lord. Oh, the man's on to something. I'm trying to be quiet so y'all can hear it too, because hey, every once in a while you hear a snap. They're stepping on a branch or something, but I could definitely hear something big moving around. Tell you what else is moving, and that's snakes. We were moving some dirt, and I was digging, and I dug my shovel in. It was real soft dirt, pulled it back, and flopped a snake up on my hands. Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Smiley, you need to go to another channel. We don't really like you here. Y'all can't hear anything, Tracy? Maybe I'll just be quiet for a minute and let's just listen, because there's definitely some snapping going on there. I'll just be quiet for just a minute. No, Cindy, we're not camping. We have a little hunting cabin here. So I guess you could say we're glamping. We got some luxury camping, if that's what you want to call it. But no, I got way too old for camping. I like a little bit of comfort. Can you still hear it? You can't see any movement. He's hearing it, and I'm hearing it. I just keep hearing a snap. We are in Oklahoma.
It's still moving around back there. Every time you throw that light on, it seems to move more.
That's why I think he's getting in a position to just watch and just being still. Ooh, that'd be terrible if I flip that off, wouldn't it?
I'd break my foot.
How long have we been on here? A couple hours?
Hour and a half. What state are we in? We're in southeastern Oklahoma.
Yes, we have indoor plumbing. We've got a comfortable cabin. Like I said, it's not where we live. It's where we come to get away, so it's kind of rustic. But yeah, we have plumbing and electric, and we have all the comforts of home.
We got air conditioning, and it's just like being at home. We actually live in Texas. We live just outside of Fort Worth, Texas, and we bought this property as a research property and
Hunting
property and research property, and the Squatch team kind of bases out of this cabin here. We do most of our research up in the Ouachita National Forest, which is not too awfully far from here. But the majority of our research is done up there. And we still research on our property here. But, cabin is nice. It's 1,800 square foot. And all the comforts of home. So when we come down here, it's not like camping out. But
no, they have never attacked. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name. They have never attacked, but yes, they throw rocks at the cabin frequently. In fact, usually after we do this, and they know we're here, we go inside. The cabin gets pelted all night long.
Can we see a picture of Bigfoot? Lillian, go to the Squatch Team channel and look at some of those videos that's on there. One of the best ones that I've ever seen is one Robert Dotson videoed down in the Ouachita National Forest. There's a little juvenile he called Shadow. He named it Shadow. He had so many interactions with it, but it's one of the clearest. It's not a blob squatch. It's one of the clearest pictures of a Bigfoot that I've ever seen.
Oh Lord!
Go to the Squatch Team channel and watch some of our videos. I've got, I don't know, 150 videos on the channel, and go take a look at those.
Oh, here's a picture of a squat.
Yeah.
Yes, my babies are in there. They're being quiet tonight, so I'm hoping they're asleep. They're not babies anymore. They're fat little pigs. I think they turn into a pig overnight. One of them weighs about 24 pounds now, and the other one's 19 pounds. So they're about 20 months old. So yeah, if we're on the road, they're on the road with us. Gus and Woodrow.
Yeah, Andy, we never go anywhere that we don't take them puppies with us. They go everywhere.
I am literally getting eaten alive.
Loved Robert's video of the eye shine ducking up and down. Then he went after it. He had. Lillian, thanks for stopping in. Go to the channel and subscribe and hit that notification button. Yeah, Robert was one of a kind. He didn't have much fear in him when it comes to Sasquatch.
Our dogs do okay here for about 2 or 3 days, but then they get kind of wound up. I can't let them out here. They, number one, ticks, and number two, all the things that could be predators for them. So they like to go back home, and we've got a couple acres at home, and they can run that. And so they, after a while, I think they get kind of claustrophobic. No, we won't be doing a live stream tomorrow. We'll probably be heading back to Texas tomorrow.
Yeah, I think we're gonna head back to Texas tomorrow. I've got a lot of work I need to do around the house, and Mother's Day coming up, and Sheila's got to get prepared for that. And, just got a lot of work I need to do there. You know, seems like from the minute we got down here, we've been working our rear ends off down here. It's trying to keep up with two properties is difficult sometimes.
Well, I know there's something back there. Wish it would show itself a little bit so you guys could have some excitement. But I think that when you got a big one like that we cast, they're older and wiser. They're just like those big bucks. They know how to move around without being seen, and they know when to come out and when to stay back. And this guy's got to be an older creature to have a foot that big. So he's in his first rodeo. That's how we caught Junior on film, because he's still juvenile and hadn't figured out that they're supposed to stay hidden. But those big guys, I saw one at Roberts through binoculars, the one he called Big Red. I got to see it, but even it was 150 yards away at least. And if you haven't, whoa, there, did you hear that?
I did hear that. Somebody said they saw eye shine.
Yeah. Behind me. I don't doubt it, Cindy. That's about where kind of, what was it? It was kind of like a low whoop,
Yeah, like a
which usually means there's more than one out there because they're signaling to each other, but it was just a real low whoop.
back in this area over here.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that one. That was a great video. But yeah, we have been hiking way back in there, and had stopped to rest a little bit. And I was looking through the binoculars, and it had to be Big Red. It was a huge, massive creature standing between two trees, and he was red. Um, and I got to watch him for probably, a minute or two. I mean, he was bobbing up and down, but for at least a minute or two, I was watching through the binoculars.
Lillian, we do not have Instagram. We're not on Instagram. We're on Facebook and YouTube.
40 degrees in Michigan. Wow. I think it was in the 90s today. Man, these are the bugs getting bigger as it gets darker, or what? I'm gonna catch one of these and show it to you. I swear those things are that big, and they're dive bombing us.
There's one right here.
Oh, that's a little one. Hold him up. I'm not touching it.
That's what we're getting bombarded with, guys.
All right, Lady in the Woods. Thanks for checking in, and yeah, I'll take you up on that coffee offer. if we can have coffee in somewhere. You know, here in where we're at,
You almost said it.
where we're at, they have no reported cases. It's very refreshing because where we're from, I mean, it's masks only and 6 feet, and some of the restaurants are kind of opening, but it's like stepping into a different world here.
D, text me your number, and next time we're down, we'll get together.
I think we may have to close it down pretty quick because I'm getting bombed like crazy.
Yeah, we've been on here almost 2 hours. So, guys, we're getting bombarded with
Whoops, they're moving over here. Did you hear that?
uh,
Yep, they moved over there, right there.
it's so thick out here, guys. You can't hardly see 20 foot. It's just so thick.
See, I told you when we heard that one a while ago, there's more than one because they've moved over in front of it, or something's moved over in front of us now. And if y'all remember, they did that before. They started circling us, and I don't like that at all. There it is again. You hear it? That little whoop. I don't like it when they circle us.
Last time they were back over here.
And I can bet you there will be a rock thrown soon if we stay out here.
Guys, I can't thank y'all enough for taking your time out tonight to join us. We love doing these live streams out in the woods with you guys. Sometimes we get a lot of action, and then other times we don't. We've got movement around us right now on at least two sides. But I can't thank you guys enough for joining us tonight, taking time out of your night to join the Squatch team, and those of you that are not subscribed to the channel, go take a look at it. And if you like what you see, subscribe and hit that notification bell. And we put out videos pretty regularly. I just put one out right before we went online that had to do with these footprints that we found, and we put videos out pretty regularly, guys. So y'all go check it out, and we appreciate each and every one of you. Diane and Tim, we appreciate you guys being moderators for the channel, and we couldn't do it without you guys. We love each and every one of you, and y'all, with this thing that's going around, y'all just stay safe as you can and try to adhere to what the doctors are telling us to do, and everybody will come out on the other end. Things are going to get better, guys. I promise.
Good night, Diane. Thank you much.
Promise they will. So with that, guys, we're going to get out of these bugs, and I probably from the second we turn this off, they'll start throwing rocks. It's what it normally happens. So,
but we do try to keep it to 2 hours. More than that, it's just,
yeah,
it's a lot.
But we love each and every one of you guys. We appreciate you so much. So with that, you guys have a blessed night and a blessed day tomorrow. And we love you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.